Here, right now, I'm going to share with you the 7 ultimate ingredients to make the best possible and most financially successful simulator that could ever exist. Before I do, why not subscribe so you can unsubscribe, and why not also click the like button? And keep in mind, this channel has no sarcasm in it whatsoever. So, ingredient number 1 to make the ultimate racing simulator. Make sure that you use a dated graphics engine and have it that your game runs with a really poor frame rate whilst also looking like it's a title from the 90s. This is crucial because, as we all know, the worse looking something is, the more realistic it is as a simulator. The worse it runs, the more complex it is and the more advanced it is as a simulator. Do not make the mistake of using fancy modern graphics engines or leveraging the power of modern graphics cards. In fact, leverage the power of modern graphics cards but have it still run slow. That would be even better. Absolutely crucial and vital that you get that right. Some developers have failed at that, but fortunately many sim developers have actually nailed that. 2. Make the physics as unforgiving as possible. Make the tyres as abrupt as possible, and ideally just include things like completely random damage or arbitrary online collisions and things just not working in any predictable way whatsoever. Because, as you know, reality is entirely unpredictable, but also the harder a racing simulator is to play and the more punishing a racing simulator is to play, the more realistic it is. If you made your simulator accommodating, intuitive and accessible, you're only going to end up being compared to games like Mario Kart, Gran Turismo, you know, arcade titles, and you don't want that. You want your game to be compared to real cars, which, as you know, require you to be Michael Schumacher to just not spin. In fact, watching the 2025 24 Hours of Le Mans, only 5 drivers are left alive. The rest all died on T1. RIP. So, make it as unforgiving as possible. That way your users will be punished into submission. They will have to spend more time learning how to drive the simulator. This will hook them into it, and the ones that actually do work out how to play your incredibly difficult simulator, they won't have any time left to play anything else. They will be totally dedicated to that sim. They will also have the ego boost and the ability to tell anybody that's new to that simulator that you've created that they are terrible and worthless and need to get good. So the benefits of creating a hard sim are effectively endless and really crucial if you want your simulator to be successful. 3. Make sure that your racing simulator has really dull, over-dampened, uncommunicative force feedback. Your simulator should feel as close as possible to that of a road car, like a Skoda Citigo or a Volkswagen Golf. In fact, even worse, it should just feel like you're driving through the power steering not connected to any wheels. Mushy, dampened, heavy force feedback, add in some vibrations that are over the top, and maybe just put some really strong dampened self-aligning forces. It should feel like you're driving the Titanic into an iceberg when you turn left and turn right. This will make most sim racers really appreciate your simulator. This will let them know that they're driving a heavy car and moving a physical object that takes effort, and also will justify to them the value of them buying a £2,000 direct drive 30 Newton meter wheel. They'll be able to really get that workout. Remember, dampened, soggy, mushy force feedback with some vibrations and over-the-top self-aligning. Vast majority of sim racers will find that to be the most realistic thing you could do, and they will love you for it. Make sure you include that into your sim. 4. Have the content in the game be the most uninspired, heavy, cumbersome, assist-laden vehicles known to man. You might have falsely thought that a sim racer would want to drive nimble race cars, Formula Fords, F4, 80s Formula cars, 70s Formula cars, stuff that's just quick to move around. Incorrect, wrong. What people want to drive are ginormous, tankish GT3 cars with really aggressive traction control and ABS. These cars, because they're so immovable and so sluggish, will mean that people don't have to focus so much on car positioning and racecraft. There will generally only be the opportunity for maybe 2, possibly 3 cars wide on some of the wider tracks, and most races will just be a convoy of vehicles unable to actually pass each other until they drive into each other. Crucially, that also allows for you to have much worse netcode and car contacts and other systems. Additionally, you'll get good convoys of vehicles, and by incorporating brands like Porsches, Ferraris and Lambos, you'll be able to leverage the brand identity and brand appeal of those vehicles to attract a bigger audience to your video game. An audience of people that actually don't really want to be racing or driving cars. They really just want to be role-playing the idea of being in a race that they've seen on TV. 5. Pay a real race driver to promote and consult on the game, and have it so that they do not compare any aspect of your game with any other simulator. As we all know, sim racers cannot come to any conclusions by themselves through comparing video footage, other simulators, other drivers' views, or just through trial and error and seeing what seems like rather inconsistent behaviour. That is impossible. What sim racers can do though, and the most important way to come to any conclusion on anything, is to look at an authority, a singular authority, one that's been paid for by the developer marking their title, and lap up and consume everything that they put out, and to be completely non-critical about it. So, if you're developing your game and you want it to be taken seriously, find the most famous real-world race driver that you can and get them to only say positive things about your title. Also, let people know that this race driver managed to demonstrably change the game, were instrumental in your video game or simulator's physics, and despite that race driver not being able to program and not being able to change the underlying foundational workings of the simulator, they did indeed basically make the simulator what it is and as realistic as it is. Unquestionable, fantastic. Make sure to take advantage of a real race driver. 6. Build as rabid of a parasocial cult around your simulator as possible. Then use these cultists as a way to drastically save on marketing budget. The idea is you want to get as many people as possible to be defending your simulator, repeating your simulator marketing talking points, and attacking any possible dissent about your simulator that could arise on the internet. You need to be in control of this, and you need to make sure that these minions are doing the, shall we say, dirty work for you. The key is, don't ever tell them to behave themselves. Don't ever say that this behaviour is a little bit obnoxious. Subtly remain watching things from a distance, so that if anybody were to point out that there's some bizarre cult-like behaviour surrounding your video game, you could just dismiss it as overly passionate fans of your title. 7, and this is a crucial one, you have to make sure that your simulator has rain, day, night, and a whole host of features that nobody that actually plays your simulator, even the hardcore fans, will actually want to use. The point of day, night, and rain, for the most part, is that someone looking at your simulator will look at it and go, oh, real life has weather. It rains in real life. Day and night occurs in real life. This simulator is simulating what we see in reality. Does it matter if they actually want to use those features or will use those features? Not at all. It's entirely for the marketing and possibly maybe a tiny percentage of users that will use these features when they're first launched and first announced, make a bit of hype content around it, but then realise that actually driving most race cars on a sodden track at night is really not that fun to be doing for any length of time. These are the features that you should have included. If you nail these, you probably will have on your hands one of the greatest simulators of all times. Let me know in the comments section if you've identified any of these features in any of your favourite current racing games and which developers are doing a particularly good job of including these features and tips into their titles already. Money is going to be flowing towards them, that's for sure. Again, massive thank you to our Patreon members, channel members, Twitch supporters. This is what allows us to make such useful and riveting content like this video. So thank you very much. Thank you for watching this. Most importantly of all though, go and grab yourselves a cup of tea, drink it, make another cup of tea, drink it, and then do it repeatedly through the day. And maybe one day your hair will fall out, you'll wear race goggles, and you'll have 5k I rating. You never know. You never know what will happen. Goodbye.